So, a dictionary is a special structure in Python which allows us to store information in what are called key value pairs. So essentially, I could create a bunch of these key value pairs, and when I want to access a piece of information inside of the dictionary, I can just refer to it by its key. So the word dictionary is pretty appropriate here, and if you guys are familiar with a normal dictionary, like in a normal dictionary you'd have a word and a definition associated with that word. In this situation, the word will be the key and that value will be the definition. That's why we call them key value pairs. This is gonna start making more sense when we start working with this. Now I want us to create a little program that will allow us to convert a 3-digit month name to the full month name. For example, JAN to January, or I could convert MAR to March. Let's start creating the program. So the first thing I want to do when creating a dictionary is we want to give it a name. So I want to give this a specific name. I'm going to call this month conversions. And now I want to set this equal to open and close curly brackets. So whenever we're creating a dictionary in Python, we always want to create it inside these open and close curly brackets. So inside of the dictionary, we can start defining our key value pairs. So I can define a key and give it a corresponding value. So to do that, what I need to do is type out JAN:January. And I could basically do this for every combination. So I could say FEB:February, and I could also do the same for, let's say, March. So I'm gonna type out MAR:March. So essentially what I can do is specify an entry inside of this dictionary for each one of these, and over here would be the key, and over here would be the value. And here's one thing, is that all the keys have to be unique. So if I was to come down here and change this to JAN, we would get an error message because we have two of the same keys, which is a big no-no when we are creating dictionaries. You always want to make sure that the keys are unique. So I'm gonna go ahead and create more of these for each of the months, and when I come back we'll talk about them. Alright, so I've gone ahead and created an entry for all 12 of the months, and now we have a bunch of unique keys, and each one of those keys is associated with a different value. So this is the basics of creating a dictionary, and as well as we have a bunch of different key value pairs. Now what we can actually do is we can access them from inside this dictionary. So if I want to access a specific key or a specific value, all I have to do is come over here, and I'm actually going to type print and print it out to the screen so where we can see it. All I have to do is call the dictionary by its name, and there's actually a bunch of different ways that we can access these months' names. The first way is by making an open and close square bracket, and inside here I can type out one of the keys. So for example, I could type in NOV, and what this should do is it should give us the full name of November. So when I run the program, you'll see that we get November down here. And we can do this for any of these. So I could say MAR, and when I run the program, we get March. And I'm able to refer to the key. It's gonna go into the dictionary, and it's gonna give me that value that is associated with that key. There's another way we can do this. So we can say monthconversions.get. And inside of here, I could pass in a key, for example, DEC. And when I run the program, we get December. And what's cool about using this get function is that we can actually specify a default value that we want to use if a key is not found. So there's going to be certain cases when we're dealing with dictionaries that you want to put in a key that might not necessarily map to a value inside of the dictionary. So you would put in an invalid key. Let's try that. So I'm going to type in WUD, and that's not a month abbreviation. When I try and run this, we get none over here, and in a lot of cases we would create a default value. The default value is kind of like the else function. So to create this default value, I have to create a comma, and then I have to pass in a default value to get printed out. So I can say not a valid key, and now when I put this invalid key, instead of saying none, it's gonna go ahead and say not a valid key. And this is going to give us a default statement that we can fall back on. By the way, the keys over here don't have to be strings. They could also be integers. For example, I could say 1, 2, 3. As long as they are unique, and you can access those keys just like you would normally with this get function and also those open and close square brackets. And that's kind of the basics of using dictionaries, and honestly you're going to be using them a lot in Python to store different types of data. And that concludes this video. If you enjoyed it or learned something new, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Turn on post notifications to be the first to know when I publish a new video. Also, if you have any constructive criticism or any questions or anything, comment them below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.